and welcome to the Bonereapers Podcast, episode 199. I'm your host, Brad. This is my co-host, Eric.
How's it going?
And we are back.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't too long of a break, but yeah, we're back.
2 weeks without our YouTube comment section to annoy me is too long. So, we were only gone for 2 weeks, and yet somehow we have God knows how long this is going to take to discuss, but a lot of things to discuss. There have been combo boxes. There have been brand new shiny models revealed. There have been entire detachments revealed. New data sheets, updated data sheets, God knows what else.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty popular time for Warhammer. Lots of news. So I guess we'll catch up with it and get everybody on the same page, or I guess we'll just catch up to it.
So without any further ado, let's get into our holiday reveals and releases catch up. That's catchy. That'll work.
Sounds good.
All right, before we get into the topic proper, we need to do news. We've been gone for 2 weeks. We got to do all the news and a little bit of shilling, but mostly news. Some of it you actually want, so stay here. Don't click past.
I mean, first and foremost, we are back, and it's the normal schedule. So we're going to be back for several more months.
Yep, new episodes Monday night / Tuesday morning for YouTube. Totally normal for the next few months. We also got fancy new upgrades over our break period. That's a lot of what we do is a bunch of back-end work when you guys don't hear from us. We tested some of them out because we've been streaming. We're streaming over on Twitch, just some variety stuff. No real schedule yet, just streaming whatever types of games, talking with chat, enjoying all that. Twitch.tv/Poorhammer. And also, we're posting all the VODs, if you can't make it live, over on Solely Singleton, our original main YouTube channel. Ignore the size difference with Poorhammer. It's a grower, not a shower.
Yeah, something like that.
But if you're interested in all of that, you can go subscribe over on Solely Singleton to catch the VODs. It'd be a nice big help. Also, please, if you like those, like them, comment on them. It'd be a huge help as we start to grow a little backlog over there so that people can find it and enjoy.
Yeah, I guess before we forget, continue to do the shill. We've got merch, poorhammer.com. Actually, something new coming up very soon.
Yes, we'll get back to that in a moment. But also, as it is still January, a last shout out here. You can support us on Patreon, and it is very important during January. YouTube doesn't give shit for money during January. That's why everyone takes breaks during January and everyone goes on vacation.
Yeah, the ad payout is definitely not the same as it is during the holidays.
So if you like what we do here, if you love these episodes, if you were dying in the 2 weeks we were gone, please consider supporting us over on Patreon. It's a lot better to have guaranteed monthly income versus the YouTube gamble for how much they want to pay this month.
And we did release a bunch of bonus content over our little break, so you'd be able to catch up on that.
We did. Last season, there is over 3 hours of new audio bonus content for patrons, so tons of off-topic talk from us. If you like hearing us talk about all sorts of random stuff that we say during these that get cut, that's all over there, and tons of other benefits you can go over on Patreon and read through, like us shouting out your name at the end of episodes like we're going to do at the end of this one.
Yeah, and just a general thank you to everybody. We're at 199 episodes now, 200 very soon. And it's just great that everybody's been supporting us and, watching our videos, listening to our podcast. So thank you.
And to celebrate next week, 200 episodes, many of you have already called it and begged for it, and I have basically promised it. Yes, episode 200 next week, we will do AOS Smasher Pass Against All Better Judgment, the sequel to episode 100's 40k Smasher Pass.
It'll be fun.
So feel free in the comments this week to recommend us models that are Smasher Pass worthy for your favorite AOS factions, because I can't wait for all the people posting bare feet.
Oh, God. Yeah, this will be fun. But I do think that is the news out of the way.
No, there's one more bit of news, Eric.
Oh, no. I don't know about this. What is this news?
We are going to be at Adepticon.
Oh, I do know about this.
I hope so, because it's paid for, so you better be knowing about it. We're going to Adepticon in this March. We do not have a proper setup to do a live episode there with everybody. We are going to go watch the reveal show where they will presumably show off 11th edition for the first time. We'll do a big recording, probably back in a hotel room, so that we can get an episode out about all that. But for an actual live episode there, we don't have plans because I tried multiple times to email people at Adepticon and never got any response from anybody. So if you know who I'm supposed to talk to at Adepticon and set stuff like that up, I'd love to know. But it's probably going to be next year minimum. minimum.
We have an email, thepoorhammerpodcast@gmail.com. And yeah, we're just going to hang out. So we'll be around if you're going to show up there.
Yeah, we'll probably make posts on social media and stuff when we're there if we want to actually meet with people, but we're probably going to be hanging out with a lot of other content creators that we know are going and all that. So you might see some interesting content, at least bonus content, based off what we do there.
All right, now I think we're done with the news, right?
Now we're done with the news. Let's get into all of these fancy, cool new things that we missed because we dared take 2 weeks off. We have angered James.
Starting off with the reveal show, we'll just jump right into it.
Sure, we'll do the newest first, I guess. I think we should sandbag it and make everybody sit through the other stuff, but fine. So the reveal show just happened like 2 hours ago for us. Hopefully this is all fresh and new for all of you. It was very cool. We actually sat through it together. It was kind of fun to see all the reveals.
Yeah, quite a bit of 40k stuff and a couple other things, but let's jump into the Red Corsairs because, I mean, we've already seen Huron Blackheart.
Yeah, so Huron wasn't revealed before we went on break? Or was he revealed like the week we went on break and we just didn't cover him?
I think it was like that week and we just didn't really cover him, or...
No, it was after we went on break because I talked about it on a stream.
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
So we have a whole new posse for Huron and all of his buddies. I'm sure they're buddies. They don't have any infighting whatsoever. Chaos never has that.
Nah, that's not something pirates do.
Huron's a very cool model other than his very unfortunate mouth. God, that thing is ugly.
I think it's great.
It's so awful.
It is ugly, but I think it's great.
It's not cool ugly, though.
I disagree.
It's cartoon ugly.
I think it works.
Yeah, I don't. It's the only part of that model I don't like. I love the model. Everything except for that mouth.
No, that's totally understandable. I get it. I think it works. I think it's cool. The Apothecary, holy shit, that's cool.
Oh, I love the Apothecary. Yeah, the Apothecary is absolutely gorgeous. I really want this to be like a generic Chaos one. I know it sounds like this one is specifically the named one who's only part of the posse unit, which is a little unfortunate because I really wanted this to just be you just don't put the right shoulder pad on it and you put a generic head on it and it becomes a generic CSM one.
Yeah.
But God, this model's beautiful. And then he's got the least interesting of the bunch, his Master of Executions guy, which is just a normal old Marine with a Edgelord skull helmet and some skulls on his chest and a very boring axe. Not even a cool axe. Like the 30k axe Praetorian is like a 10 times cooler Master of Executions than this thing is.
Yeah, it's fine as a model, but it's very bland. But we did get Garland Soul Eater.
Gargling these souls.
Wow.
I actually like this model. Eric was iffy on it. I think the model, other than the head, is the perfect basis for any sorcerer. I think the head is awesome, but I actually think the head is better served on something else, like on your Master of Executions or something. And then you put like an Exalted Sorcerer's head in the cowl.
Yeah, I was not on board with this model until you were like, well, if you just use an Exalted Sorcerer, and I was like, oh, nah, that's cool.
The greatest kit.
Because like the actual, like the rest of the model, like with the robes and like this is a sorcerer is cool, but I don't know, the helmet just doesn't fit.
And then we got the two best parts, which honestly, the last one we'll talk about is the most gorgeous of the bunch, but I freaked out. Our lizard lady, the Enforcer.
Yeah.
Lizards in space. Oh my God, I got my lizardman in space. She's real. She's beautiful. Look at this crocodile lady.
Croxigors are finally in 40k.
We did it. My God, this is everything I could want.
And like the dog's cute.
The dog is the least interesting thing. The fact that she's got her cool like power fist. It's like a Votann power fist arm.
Yeah.
But it's got the orc, the beast snaga drawings on it, you know, like the tribal markings.
Yeah. And then like it's not all one suit. Like it's a bunch of like plates put on to like key areas, but it's not ramshackle.
Yeah, it very much looks like a really cool Rambo aesthetic.
Yeah. No, it's great.
I don't know. I love this model. Head to toe, it's so good. However, it's slightly overshadowed like the rest of these were by the last model, Captain Sargata.
Yeah. This model is so fucking cool. Holy shit.
Now, Eric, are you slightly disappointed in this model because the Dami Mommy only has 1 foot to step on you with?
Shut up. Fuck you.
I thought of that and I was like, I'm keeping that for the episode. I'm not going to say it out loud until we're on air.
Oh my God. As you started that, I was like, I know it was fucking going. But like the peg leg's cool.
This model is gorgeous. When they were doing the like reveal spin shot,
Yeah.
holy shit.
No, this is awesome. I love the way that they've integrated the base to like show it hovering but not be like dumb.
This is one of the models that we talk about when we say, like, do you really want a new army or do you just want to paint one specific model from that army? Like, we use Primarchs as an example for that. But, like, this model is that, like, even if I didn't own any CSM, I would want this model just to paint it because it's so damn cool. Peak 40K looks.
And honestly, this is the kind of model that, like, if you really wanted to go the extra mile, you could frame an entire diorama around this.
Yeah, I expect this is going to be one of the models that next year for Golden Demons and stuff, you're going to see this model in all sorts of them.
Yeah, this is just such a cool model. Every bit about it is so awesome. And they did a great job showing it off too. Like the painting that is actually showing this model off. Well done.
Yeah, we'll get into the thoughts with the faces being painted later in this reveal show. But a really good example is actually the Red Corsair Raiders, like the new unit that they're also getting. I noticed two of the guys in this unit, like one of them has the eyeshadow war paint, and then one of the other guys too has one of the most gorgeously well painted faces I've seen on a 40K model. And I was like, damn, someone went hard on this one model. But then later in the reveal show, we kept getting more examples of this. I don't know if they got a new modeler who does a totally different way of doing faces than the rest of the team, but like, dear Lord, in this reveal show, there were some amazingly painted faces, which you never see on a GW official paint job.
It almost felt they had guidelines that they had to follow, and it's finally been loosened up to like allow the artist to do what needs to be done kind of thing. Or, I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe it is just a new artist did this kind of thing, but they nailed it over and over again.
But yeah, the Raiders themselves as a sculpt also look very nice. They bragged about them being Red Corsair exclusive Legionnaires who are better and are a midway point between Legionnaires and Chosen. And I'm like, okay, they will be slightly more points and slightly better than Legionnaires, and only Corsairs can take them. They probably just have Infiltrate or something.
Yeah, they're pretty basic, but there's a few spots that are kind of cool. Like the one like big chunky chest plate. That's neat.
Yeah, I loved the like ramshackle, the very pirate aesthetic of like, this is just gear we keep on stealing from people, and some of it's older and my arm might not match up with my chest piece and stuff. But yeah, the one that won you and me over that we both reacted to when we watched it live was the big chunky chest piece the one guy has on.
It feels more unique, like less of a like regimented army and more of like a pirate that's picking whatever they like the most that they have access to kind of thing.
Also, while I'm a known Beaky disliker, the Beaky in this team actually looks pretty badass. I don't like Beakies, but this one does it for me.
Yeah, this one does work. These are not like the most exciting models, but they are pretty good for being not super elite.
And then they also got the Reeve Captain, which it sounds like is just the Red Corsairs Chaos Lord, because they don't want you running something called a Chaos Lord when the point of Corsairs is they're not Chaos, they are Renegades, the other half of Renegades and Chaos.
Right. This model's pretty cool. I like the bonk stick.
I will say this, as a man who is on the record as the Piggy face is the worst Space Marine face and has held back the aesthetic of Space Marines forever.
Yeah, you do hate that.
This one works because they figured out that Darth Vader is more than the pig snout. You have to have the rest of the silhouette to make it work so that it looks like it's the sub part of a bigger helmet, which they do with his like golden crown piece up top and then making the sides wider out on the sides there and like actually look like Vader's helmet properly. This guy has a sick helmet.
Yeah, overall, this is pretty cool. All of them, they did a great job. They also showed the upgrade sprue, which, yeah, okay, that's nice. And they have a battle force. We'll cover all of that with the rest of them because there's several. But yeah, let's move on to the Aeldari Corsairs.
The other Corsairs in the Corsair reveal show. I really liked these. I love seeing parts that are not Craft World or Drukhari get expanded on in Eldar. Corsairs getting a bunch of new stuff is great. Now just do it again for Harlequins.
As the show was going on, you were like, and now we're going to get Harlequins. And I was like, man, that would be awesome, but don't think so.
Nope, but I can keep dreaming.
One day.
So the Corsair editions are pretty nice. Prince Uriel's like, I don't care.
It's a nice model.
Yeah. The double flags look stupid to me.
Yeah, kind of. But
He's got his dual disc out, which is important, so he can play his Yu-Gi-Oh with the rest of the Eldar range.
I kind of like the dual disc.
I've always liked the dual disc. It's just very stupid, but I like it.
It's very stupid. But more importantly, we got the Sky Reavers, and yes.
Yeah, again, they do lose versus Scourges because Scourges are peak.
Sure, yeah.
Scourge wings are unbeatable. The Bat wings and the Raven wings are simply the best. But these are a good second.
Yeah, these models are so cool. The wings are great. There's some pretty good posing. These are just cool.
And then we got the most unique helmet we've ever seen from Eldar. Karseth is what they're calling it. It's like a different Farseer. I'm sure this has Eldar lore I've never read.
Yeah, I think they called them the Aethermancer, something like that.
Yeah, I love this helmet to death. This is so much better than Eldar helmets.
So it was one of those, like, as it was revealed, I asked you, like, have they done this kind of, like, this style of, like, bug helmet before? Because it just works really well. Like, this looks good, and I just assumed that it was done before, but, like, neither of us can place it.
Nope. If it was done, it's going to be someone bringing up, like, an old 2nd edition metal sculpt that looked like dog shit, and they'll be like, no, technically it existed once. And it's like, that's not what we're talking about.
Yeah, because this is cool.
It's like a sweet mosquito face.
Yeah.
Because, like, the chin thing that always looks kind of dumb becomes a proboscis, and then the big, stupid, elongated helmet becomes like a mosquito's head with the giant eyes.
Yeah.
And I love that look. It, like, looks like a creepy gas mask.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome. This is cool. Like, the rest of the model, well done as well, but that helmet is so cool. Holy shit.
Yeah, if GW is taking feedback on this launch, more of this helmet in the Eldar range. It is sick.
Absolutely. 100%.
And then we got the Starfang, which is also dual building into the Viper, so they're getting rid of the ancient fucking Viper. Fantastic news.
But, like, it looks the exact same.
It does look the same, except for not 100 years old.
Yeah, it is updated. It is nicer, but, like, we didn't really reinvent the wheel here. We just took the old shitty wheel and made it better.
If anything, the thing both of these are just exactly is, I want to compare one of these as raw plastic next to the Venom sculpt.
True.
I just want to look at the main top and bottom because it's like a clamshell for the top and bottom of the Venom.
Yeah, the, like, core body.
Yeah, I want to compare those next to each other because this is literally just the Venom. 100%.
It really does look like it.
It's interesting. It's not on a flying stand. It's on a longer peg on an oval base that's pretty big. And I wonder if that's a sign that the Venom is also going to change this base maybe next edition. I know flying stands caused issues with pivot rules and stuff previously this edition and all sorts of garbage. I do wonder if this is them being like, you know what? I got a solution for you. Rebase that shit.
That's 100% what it is. Maybe it propagates further, but I mean, it's the right decision.
Yeah, that wraps up the Corsair part. And then they revealed the books that we definitely didn't get leaks of weeks ago.
No.
They were very new and no one has seen these before.
Yeah, never seen these Maelstrom covers before in my life.
But the important part of this that we'll get to later in the episode, they confirmed what they did with 500 Worlds is going to be the same for Maelstrom here. The rule books that have rules in them that are playable in normal competitive match play, like the standard balanced game that we all play for any normal game, all those rules will be freely available online. Please cheer, clap, tell GW what a great idea that was. They need to keep doing it. It's wonderful. This is how rules should work in games so that people can just buy the books if they want all the other cool stuff and don't have to go out to buy these random short print books at the end of an edition just to keep playing their army.
Yeah, I mean, they did start that with the Grotmas, and they've converted over to, like, the faction pack on the Warhammer downloads. So it's, like, all been moving in the direction, and there's, like, expectation, but getting further confirmation. Very nice. Looking forward to it continuing.
But these will get detachments for Corsairs and Red Corsairs, so those will be interesting to see. The new data sheets should be available in here and everything else. They also revealed they're doing battalions for Drukhari and Votann when these launch. We're not really going to go through these because they disappeared in like milliseconds when 500 Worlds showed up.
Yeah.
This is like a way smaller run than we had for boarding actions last time. Like at the end of ninth edition, we got boarding actions, and they lasted long enough where we were like, hey, maybe these are staying around as combo boxes. This time we know they aren't because they were sold out and gone within seconds.
Yeah, there's really no expectation that you can get them, essentially. They seem fine, but
The Drukhari one is a very solid combo box, especially if you like witches. Like, if you like witches, that box is great, as long as it's the right price, which I think it will be.
and the Votann one has bikes. I love bikes, more bikes.
Eric's trauma.
It's also fine, but like it's just tough to like really care about talking about these battalions when like most people aren't even going to have a chance to get it.
And I guess before we segue off of things playable in 40k, so we're not doing AOS next, let's talk about the golden elephant in the room, the highlight of this reveal show.
Yeah, it's about damn time. Custodes, you're getting plastic. Let's go.
Really, really nice plastic. Holy shit. So for a background thing, I traded my brother recently. He had a bunch of Custodes and he hates painting. I had over 6,000 points of Seraphon sitting in boxes and I hate building. So we traded, and I finished painting his Custodes, and in exchange, he built 6,000 points of Seraphon for me so I can paint them on my own later. It worked out great. He now has a bunch of new Custodes models that he has to put together and then figure out how he's going to convince me to paint these.
Yeah, dude, these look great. Like the Custodian Guard, that's good. That's real good.
It's so much better. Having just painted these for hours and hours, these are so much better. I dislike the base Custodian Guard. I just do not like that model. These ones are so gorgeous.
I feel like they're going to take longer to paint though.
A little, but not that much because the detail was already there. It was just uglier.
It's true. Yeah. Okay.
Like, honestly, I can tell you that a lot of these parts that are not just proper gold airbrushing with highlights,
Right.
all the detail parts exist on the current models. It's just they don't look this good. The proportions are awful.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. I guess I just kind of like gloss over it from like further away. But these new ones, all the detail stands out because it's like, I don't know, it's just nice.
So, Eric, here is for us to look at a Custodian Guard currently next to the new model that is its equivalent.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the new one's substantially nicer looking, but I do see what you're saying of like, there actually is a good amount of detail work on the old one. It's just not as nice.
The only thing the new one has the old one doesn't is they have capes, because I forgot those are only on all the non-guard models originally. The new ones do have proper capes, which is badass. But yeah, the old model, the giant shoulder pads that make them look like they're putting on dad's armor, it's so bad. They do not have good proportions. And this new one is literally just, it's that model, but with proper proportions.
Essentially, yeah, which is good.
And the new helmets are so much better, which is weird because they're like 6 feet tall and you think it's going to be too stupid, but it's honestly better.
It's a little weird to me, but it's okay. It's not quite bowling pin.
No, it feels like a crown, something thereabouts, like a church crown of some type. I don't know which religion or something, but like, you know what I'm talking about?
The like bishop hat thing.
Yeah, because it's got like a full proper knight helmet, and then it's got the big giant dome up top that is not part of the helmet. It's like sitting on top of it like a hat. And that reminds me of like a regal, like a crown type helmet.
Yeah, with the like headdress coming out of it, it's just like you put like a flag on top of your head.
Which, I mean, considering who they are, what they do and all that, it honestly works.
They would. But yeah, I mean, like the old one compared to the new one, same model, but the new one's, like you said, just better proportions. There's a little bit more detail, and just overall, they did a great job.
Also, while we're on the subject, Eric during the reveal show did not like the shields at all. And
No.
I agree with him to some extent. We'll get to the one I don't like. But I'm pointing out the new shield versus the old shield, and the new shield is still better. I just don't like any of their shields.
Yeah, so like the Custodian Sentinels, the old one, honestly, like to me, they both suck the same amount, if I'm being honest. Like the old one's just kind of old and like less detail, but it's tough because like it's a fine shield, but we're in 40k. I don't want like a shield. I want something ostentatious. Put a fucking skeleton in it or something, right? Like there's so much cool that you can do.
You want the captain from Indominus, like
Yeah.
the over the top shield.
That kind of thing is what is really what I want. And that's personal preference. The new shields on the Custodian Sentinels are done well.
I do like the new Calidus Annihilator Grav tank. It's the same as the old one, but now it won't be a warped piece of shit when you buy it.
Or weigh like 10 pounds.
Yeah, it also won't weigh like 10 pounds. So that's nice. Good to have that in plastic, I guess. I've never loved the vehicles for Custodes in general. Like this tank is like, I have no love for the design in the first place. So it's like, it looks fine. It looks good. Not my jam whatsoever.
They look like pod racers, essentially.
A little bit.
Like it's certain ones of those, and it's like, it's not my jam, and that's fine. But like, it's unique, and I'm okay with that. It's nice that it was redone. Because like, if they had skipped out on this grav tank and like the old one would go away because we're getting rid of all that shit, it would have been a hole.
Yeah, they did not update the Palace grav attack, notably. They updated the Calidus one, and they made the Kronos one, or Coronus one, which I don't think existed yet, question mark? Or if it did, it was ass?
Yeah, I don't know.
They blur in my head, guys. I'm sorry. I don't like these tanks. But the Coronus one that they showed off, this thing is massive. This thing is Land Raider sized.
Yeah, I mean, it's like almost like super heavy. It's just there's certain like proportions that are not fully boxy, so it doesn't quite match up, but this is big. Honestly, I kind of like the design better when it's bigger. Like, fits. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. It's not my style.
But we did get dreadnoughts.
Yes, the highest highlight of this is the most beautiful dreadnoughts you've ever seen. The Achilles and the Galatus getting updated so that you got your sword and board guy, you got your spear guy. These are the most gorgeous models when they did those panning shots of the physical models they had. God damn, they're beautiful.
We did a comparison of the normal Custodian Guard. I don't even think we want to do a comparison for these.
I've always liked the originals, other than the fact that my brother has one of each, and because they're Forge World resin, they're real iffy. The one sword is a little banana-y.
Yeah, it is.
And,
well, then the real problem with them to me is like they feel like it's like Legos of like, here's your leg, here's your other leg, we'll put it on, and it doesn't like fully fit, but that's fine. It's good enough. Nobody will notice it from across the table. Whereas like these new ones are like properly all sculpted as like this is a single machine that was designed to be like this.
But I will say, this is where I finally agreed with you on the shields 100%. This shield sucks.
Yeah, it's even more noticeable.
I almost feel like putting the flat black sticker in the middle made it worse. If it had just been blank gold there, I might have still disagreed with Eric a little. I think that just exacerbated the problem.
It made it definitely more noticeable, like draws your eye to it, but it is disappointing as far as I'm concerned. But you should be able to figure out ways to kit bash something that's cooler. Notably, we didn't get a Telemon though.
We did not get the Telemon. Eric still has to deal with the fact that you have to buy your Telemon arms separately.
Or they just kill it.
They probably will. We'll get into our thoughts on Custodes when we finish this update. But next up, they showed off the Shield Captain as well. She is absolutely gorgeous. Holy shit, this model. They released a Shield Captain like this edition for Custodes, and it sucked. He's like the chubby, super fat guy. The model they just released in 40K next to the 30K one, and it's fucking embarrassing.
I was like, I vaguely remember, but I can't confirm in my head that this is the one because it looks so bad that I was like, nah, that had to have been the older one, right?
At first, I thought this model just looked like shit because of like not having a good golden angle and like maybe it just looks bad in pictures. But my brother owns it and I painted it. And while painting it, I was like, this thing's a turd. And yeah, so the new Shield Captain is so fucking great. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a massive glow up. Like honestly, the shield's not bad. I'm good with this shield. This shield it's not the most exciting I've ever seen, but like there's enough detail. The shape's kind of neat. It's doing some stuff. The rest of the model, nailed it. Slam dunk.
And for DK specifically, the Venatari got updated to plastic, so his segment on that one episode we were on for Adeptus Ridiculous is a little bit less sad.
It's so exciting that they did update the Venatari.
The funny part is my brother's Venatari, which look like dog shit because they're Forge World resin. They're not that bad because they're smaller scale. I just want to pick on Forge World, but they actually updated these models to be doing the jumping off of stuff to look a little bit better than like flight stand up the ass, which he had done by using some GW terrain we had. He saw that up and did this on his, so they already look like these new ones except for they have way worse proportions. those. So he still should update to these ones. But he also pinged me as soon as these showed up and said, also advise everybody to buy these and steal the wings for their Sanguinary Guard.
That's brutal. But I mean, I don't know the proportions would actually work out, but like they should be close, right?
It's got to be close enough to make something work.
They would absolutely look cool. Like the general design would look cool on them. But I mean, the Venatari here, they did a great job.
They looked okay before, but now like it's the same thing, but with the proportions fixed, and it's gorgeous because they were already cool as hell. The Flyboys was the one thing that Forge World had that we didn't have in the base range. That was like, damn, I really wish they would add these.
I mean, there was a reason DK was like, these are cool without knowing anything else, because they are cool.
I will say they bombed the final moments of this update.
This book cover.
They showed off the Horus Heresy book, and I don't know if they all look this stupid, but holy shit, that's just your 3D render of your model from Blender in the harsh Blender lighting.
Yeah, just in a void.
It looks like shit, man.
That is awful.
We were talking about it. Eric and I had the same thought, and he was like, wait, this looks like the placeholder book when you're like, we gotta cook up a book.
Yeah.
The book will exist, so like your random dev just throws this together and goes, this represents the book someone smarter than me will make later.
Right? This is the placeholder, so you know. Now fix it.
And then it just ended up pushed to production accidentally.
Yeah, it's comically bad.
Next to the most beautiful range we have seen.
Yeah.
Now, as we're done with the Custodes part here, I have to give a warning. As much as we are super happy that this update exists and they are gorgeous,
Yeah.
the Custodian Guard have a normal 40k kit. They are safe to purchase. The Shield Captain has a normal 40k kit. It's in the Codex, safe to purchase. Every other thing, the Venatari, the beautiful new Dreadnoughts, the 30k tanks, they only exist currently as an add-on piece for Forge World that is not properly supported in the Codex for Custodes. Do not purchase these assuming they will get full rules in 11th edition. This is the exact time where we all got fucked in 9th edition because they released the absolutely gorgeous, absolutely perfect Leviathan Dreadnought, and we all went out and bought them because the Leviathan Dreadnought is sick, and we all got scammed.
Obviously, it's going to have rules. It didn't.
Yeah, so do not buy these until you are sure they will exist when it comes to 11th edition proper. Once that is the case, then I will recommend buying these because they're gorgeous. We have seen the track record of Games Workshop. I fully expect, if anything, this is proof that these are going to get removed from 40k. Other than the ones that obviously have 40k equivalent plastic kits, then you just use these instead because they're better.
Yeah. I mean, there is still the like, these are really cool models. And like, if you buy them with like the understanding that they might not be playable, and that's okay, they'll sit on the shelf and look gorgeous. But like, know that that is a potential outcome.
It's rough, and I hate saying it, but it's literally what we have been taught by Games Workshop to accept, is the fact that they will Legends this stuff and throw it out of the game the second that it's made for Horus Heresy in plastic, until they prove us wrong. Speaking of, Space Marine enjoyers, the Whirlwind will not exist in 11th edition because they're remaking it in 30k. No big loss. It looks like dog shit. It's fine.
It's not that bad. We also got the Super Heavy, and on the cover, we also got a Dead Ultramarine. Hey, they did it.
That was the best joke in the show.
It was a good joke.
Look, sometimes I cringe at GW's reveal shows because their jokes are like really forced because it's like a PR joke. You nailed it. Whoever the PR guy is who came up with that joke of we must have an Ultramarine in this and it's the dead one on the cover, 10 out of 10 joke. Well done.
Sometimes it works. Sometimes it's cringe. You just gotta keep trying.
See our last episode.
Oh yeah, we've absolutely done some top tier quality.
Let's do what was actually the end of the reveal show because it's still 40k stuff.
Yeah, the like actual preview, reveal, teaser stuff that like we don't know the actual models to them, but they showed off sections.
Yeah, which thankfully disproved the ugliest, shittiest fake we've ever seen, and I'm so happy that they went out of their way to disprove that.
I'm not convinced that it totally disproves this Perturabo of not existing, but none of these pictures are part of that kit.
Yeah, that kit already...
It looks bad. Oh my god.
There was a leak about 5 days ago our time where someone posted on God knows where, probably 4chan or some fucked up place, a quote-unquote fake, we don't know, but it's well assumed at this point with what we have, image of a Perturabo Demon Lord of Iron which looked terrible.
Yeah.
And they went out of their way to end this reveal show showing a bunch of promo shots of an upcoming Iron Warrior CSM refresh. Every one of these does not match and looks like equivalent parts in some variety to other stuff on this model. They showed off a shoulder that doesn't match. They showed off a hammer that doesn't match. They showed off things on shoulders that don't match. And it's like they showed off a big important foot that doesn't match. And it's like, thank God, because this is the lamest attempt at making a Primarch I've ever seen. I would be livid if this was a Primarch.
Yeah. I feel like that foot is probably like a Hellbrute or something like that.
Yeah, we can get into what we think all of the actual reveals are.
But the general aesthetics of all of them look really nothing like the leak. So,
and these look like proper GW designs, and the leak has all sorts of things that make me question things.
yeah, they do look good.
There's all sorts of little problems in that leak. It's very much looking like it's fake, thankfully. But the Iron Warriors update thing that they teased, we see some type of hammer. We see 2 shoulder guns that could be from any demon engine, really. Maybe they're on a new Purdy. Maybe they're just like a heavy flamer on a Dread or something, and then a silly looking claw.
I saw somebody talking about the Defiler.
So the Defiler, I actually think has some weight. There is one of like a big heavy looking claw close to the ground. And in the background of that shot, you can kind of see what looks like a big claw foot in the background. If this is a redesign of the Defiler and we get a proper horrifying spider crab metal monster, that would be awesome. Because the Defiler, when you abstract it out, is a cool idea. The Defiler, the kit, is a war crime.
The abstract idea has a lot of potential, and like there's bits and pieces of the current model that you look at and you're like, all right, that's kind of interesting. As a whole, doesn't work. So a rework, redesign of that could be awesome.
There are back humps that I can tell you from my own painting are 100% the back of a Forge Fiend or Mauler Fiend demon engine. Like those are the smokestacks on those, except they're slightly different because this is a new sculpt. But like I've painted these, so we're probably getting a new fiend of some type. I don't know what they'll call it. And there is what appears to be a Hellbrute's hand, the claw arm of a Hellbrute with the shoulder that looks like it matches a Hellbrute shoulder for the most part. So this might finally be our Redemptor Hellbrute, so we get a full-size Hellbrute. And the big important foot does look like Terminator foot, which would be Purdy. It has the 2 big toes, which is kind of neat. So maybe it's a warped demony Perturabo. Maybe it's just a new Terminator Lord or something. Who knows?
Yeah, there's a lot of maybes, what ifs. Altogether, though, they look pretty cool. So definitely some solid hype for the release that's going to eventually happen. That more or less is the 40K. So let's move on to AOS.
So AOS did a really good job updating the OBR range. I love OBR, but I will admit it was kind of half of a range like a lot of AOS ranges, and this really fixes that. So you get a new Lord on Chariot, which helps if you're building a horse-heavy army. So you've got, you know, the new Chariot, the new generic Chariot that's not the Legion Chariot. So you have 2 new units for that part of the army. You've got a new Legion foot that looks gorgeous. You have, importantly, the Bowmore tech they added, the triaxes. So now you have a ranged foot infantry, which is nice because they even pointed it out. Like this would go well if you were trying for like a crawler part of the army, which is their siege engine, which is basically a big catapult.
Yeah, it is a cool catapult.
Because it always felt out of place that we had this cool regimented catapult, because OBR is very much like a real army. That's how it's designed, is to work like a regimented army of dead dudes. But it always felt weird. It's like, we've got a catapult and nothing else to support a ranged sub-faction of some type.
Yeah, you don't have your archer.
If you have just the 1 unit, it's really hard to want to go all into that part of the army, but it's like, okay, so now we have our bows and siege equipment that can be in a sub-faction that focuses on that. Then we've got our Footmore tech. Then we've got our bigger stuff that we can do with our more monstery units. And then we've got our horse guys and our chariots.
Yeah, and it becomes like a full army that you can have, a balanced army that you can field, which is great. I do love the bows on these new triaxes. They're cool.
I have to admit, my edgy 14-year-old came out, and I really like the Mortis Reapers.
Oh, yeah.
It's edgy and stupid, but like in a really fucking cool way.
I'm not completely sold on the smoke. These are okay.
I love sculpted smoke. Eric does not. They look beautiful.
Pretty solid overall. The book cover, not bad until you look at his face and it's like, what happened, bro?
We both like paused and we're like, why is his face so stupid? But yeah, it's also coming out with, again, a battle force that we can talk about near the end and a new spearhead. I actually like the new spearhead. Again, it's the horse part of the army, which is neat because then you want to pick up the new chariot stuff. It's got the centaurs from the, was it Underworlds or was it Warcry that had them? But very neat to have all that.
The spearhead does kind of pair well with the other spearheads because like neither of those really had the horses. So nice little touch.
Yeah, so if you were picking up this as a new part of your army, then it helps, yeah.
Yeah.
The Tzeentch update, I have very mixed feelings on because early in this AOS edition, there was rumors there was going to be a full Tzeentch refresh.
And this is not it.
Like they were going to finally fix the old horrors to look cooler now, maybe get new flamers that don't look like shit. So this basically proved that we're not getting a Tzeentch refresh for at least a while again.
Yeah, you just got a generic foot hero, the Fate Master,
who really doesn't want to wear pants. It's so weirdly Slaneshi.
It is so weird. Like the model's fine.
I don't hate the model in any way. I love the bird that is sort of snaky, but I love the bird.
Honestly, it took me a moment to find bird because I saw a snake and then like, oh, there's feathers. That's not part of snake.
Yeah, I like the model overall. Very weird how much bare skin there is when it's not Slanesh and it's actually Tzeentch. But I guess the cultists in AOS also are half naked.
It's just weird. But the Argent shards are wicked cool. Holy shit.
Yeah, look, I'm buying these. I might buy 2 sets just for terrain for actual play to make more Tzeentchian terrain, but at least 1 set for the actual AOS version of my Tzeentch army.
Yeah.
God, they're gorgeous. Holy shit.
Like, there's a lot of detail going on. There's a lot of there's just a lot of motion that's depicted in the model.
I also like that you and I both thought they would be a certain size, and then they showed them on the desk, and we're like, holy shit, those are tall.
Yeah.
Like, they're bigger than you think they're going to end up being. They're like tall as those mic stands were. Like, they are a solid 8-10 inches tall, depending on how big those mics are.
Something like that, which was not it. Like, I was expecting, it's going to be a little bit taller than a dreadnought kind of thing. And
I kind of thought they were going to be a little sad looking, but when they showed them on the desk, they are big.
Yeah, man, they look so cool. And they did a great job of painting these to show off the 3D effect.
They did. I have bad news. Mine aren't going to look this good, bud.
No. Yeah, because in just the picture, it's hard to really see how 3D they are. You can kind of get grasps of it because of how it was painted and that, but they spun them around. That's cool.
I will say, so they got a decent looking battle tome. I don't hate this battle tome.
It works.
It's cool. They got a battle force we'll talk about with all the other ones, and they got a spearhead.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on.
That's fair, yeah.
I'm not going to talk about it.
Lumineth Realm Lords got foot hero, the Binari Lord Regent.
Yeah, which I guess they pointed out that there's not many sword, many melee foot heroes for Lumineth, and I guess I just never really noticed that there's not that many generic ones, and they were right. I looked it up, and it is mostly just casters, so...
That makes sense. I mean, the model looks pretty good. Honestly, the fact that it's there's 2 fairly different looking models that they show off.
Yeah, the alt builds, when they showed them off next to each other, I didn't realize at first it was the same kit. Then they showed them off and spun them around and you can see where it's all the same.
It's obvious when you actually look for it, but without trying to look, they're pretty different, man. They did a great job.
Yeah, it's really nice. I love the fact that a simple character dual builds into 2 things that can look so different.
Yeah.
Then again, they're getting a battle tome, obviously, because that's why they're showing the update, and this is their generic foot hero to get them through to next edition. They're getting a battle force for the launch, and they're getting a spearhead that it looks fine. I like the kangaroo part of the army, though, so I'm sure some people don't like it, but...
Yeah, it seems perfectly reasonable. The Regiment of Renown, we didn't bring it up because, whatever, but quick shout out to the Regiment of Renown that's just a dude.
It's a dude and they're endless spells.
It's cool, it works, but
yeah, from a functional standpoint, I get it, because Regiment of Renowns are to accent your army with a piece of a different army in your grand order. So I want to soup in some LRL because I want something different. You're likely wanting the neat Gigacaster high elf part of the army anyway.
Yeah.
So it's all right, that is what you want out of the ROLR, so why not just make it that?
It's just, as scrolling through these, seeing him just by himself surrounded by a bunch of spells is okay, yeah, Yeah, neat.
Big box, tiny dude.
Yeah, right. We got Blood Bowl High Elves.
Yeah, Blood Bowl did get an update. And honestly, again, I played Blood Bowl exactly once. I got my ass kicked and I loved it. Blood Bowl seems to be a really fun game. I don't give a shit about high elves.
And like, we don't really follow it, so.
Nope, but I'm all here. If they want to show off Blood Bowl stuff, hell yeah.
Yeah, and like, cool that it's a thing now. That's great.
All right, let's get all the battle forces together because there were some other ones revealed. Let's talk about battle forces, combo boxes, and what you should and should not spend money on. All right, do we want to start with the battle forces that got revealed right at the beginning of the year?
Yeah, sure. Let's start with EC.
Okay, what are your thoughts on this box? So it's a Demon Prince, 12 Noise Marines, 10 Tormentors, 10 Infractors, so really it's 20 and they just built it 10 and 10.
I mean, I actually quite like it. I think it works pretty well. I like Noise Marines, so that helps.
So my problem is like you either already own a shitload of Noise Marines and you already own a ton of Tormentors and Infractors. If you're playing EC at all, you own many Demon Princes already. But ignoring that fact, I have trouble liking this box because there isn't enough EC. I know it's a problem with the range, but there isn't enough EC for this box to feel any different than the last several we just got.
Sure, but also like not everybody was able to get those.
Fair, it's another shot.
So like if you did, then yeah, it might not make sense. But like if you look at it with the combat patrol in mind, it kind of works pretty well because the combat patrol is focused on the flawless blades.
Okay, fair. I guess if we only look at the combat patrol and this box being the two things available to you right now, then yes, it's pretty good.
I didn't fully math it out, but it looks like it's reasonable on discount percentage. Not the best, but like it's pretty good.
Okay, it's fine. I guess my just general depression of the state of EC's launch size-wise and what we're about to get into.
I think that this Emperor's Children box works. It's just Emperor's Children needs more models. They need more units to like actually get you hype to have more options for a box. But I think with the limited range that they have, this is pretty good.
All right. So let's talk World Eaters. Don't buy this box.
So it's a Lord on Juggernaut, a Master of Execution, 6 Blood Crushers, 10 Zerkers, and 20 Bloodletters.
Yep. I own everything in this box, in this amount or more. Do not buy this box. Look, the 10 Khorne Berserkers is your basic battle line unit. It's going to be in everything for forever.
But like, it's not bad to have 10 of them.
No, it's not bad to have, but you have no fear of missing out. The next combo box is going to have them.
Yeah.
Looking at it that way. The Lord on Juggernaut is stupid in the current lineup because you know what he leads? Demons that are only good in a single detachment.
Yeah, that's not great.
The majority of this box is 20-year-old demon sculpts that feel 35 years old because I built them and they are dog shit.
The Bloodletters are... I don't like them.
Bloodletters are like the epitome of a shitty old infantry kit. Those heads on a GW image, you won't realize how bad those heads are. They don't fucking line up. They're going to be so worn out and flashed up that you're going to open this kit and feel scammed. I have built probably 40 or 50 of these fuckers. I despise this kit.
Which definitely doesn't make the Blood Crushers any better because it's like the like bull thing that they're riding is kind of cool, but like...
Oh, I love the Juggernauts. Actually, the Blood Crushers is not nearly as bad of a kit, even though it is also old. It's just the Bloodletters themselves. Something about the way they designed that kit was awful.
Yeah, I mean, technically, if you're just getting into it, it's maybe not terrible if you're also interested.
Technically, if you are just getting into it, you like combining the demons and the mortals, and you want the very basic parts of both of those with nothing short of like the most basic versions of them, and you're okay with the fact that this is playable in one detachment because this codex is poorly written like all the Chaos Codices are, then I guess it's all right.
Nah, this is a hard recommend. Real tough, very niche. How about Thousand Suns though?
Thousand Suns, I have mixed feelings on.
This one's interesting, isn't it? I mean, okay, you've got an Infernal Master, 3 Exalted Sorcerers, you got 10 Sots, and Mutalith Vortex Beast. The MVB is cool.
Look, MVB is a beautiful model. I fucking love mine. It's one of my favorite models I've ever painted. I did so good on it too. I'm very proud of the paint job on it. But I love Sots. I love the MVB. I love the Exalted Sorcerer kit. The Infernal Master's all right. My problem is like, this is not a very good value value box. Like when you actually crunch the numbers, it's not great.
No, it isn't. But Mutalith Vortex Beast is online only.
It is, which does, and it's notoriously one of the ones that has been off of the store for years at a time.
Yeah. So like you're gonna want Sots. You're gonna want the Exalted Sorcerers. If you want a Mutalith Vortex Beast, you're probably still getting into Thousand Suns. You're not like fully in already.
This one, I don't think the box itself is awful. I do think the box is on the low end of value by a fair margin compared to all the others. Like literally it's missing like a kit of value for some reason. You know what it could use? Some Zangor on disc would actually make it perfect.
Yeah, honestly, it would kind of work.
I kind of love this as the idea of you remove a bit and make it a combat patrol and it's still fine. And honestly, someone, when we were discussing these on stream when we were streaming a while ago, someone actually told me that I designed a combat patrol very similar to this on a previous episode. And I believe them because it sounds like exactly what I would do. I don't remember, but I like this kit, but it's going to be extremely narrow for who I would recommend it to, because like you want to get into Thousand Suns. It's not a great discount. You need everything in this kit.
I think it really is. Like, if you're still just getting into Thousand Suns and you want a Mutalith Vortex Beast, this is not an amazing deal, but it is pretty decent.
Fair. Honestly, if you're looking to get into Thousand Suns and you only have the combat patrol and this, that is a very solid starting force.
Absolutely.
So in that aspect, there you go. That's who I recommend this to.
Yeah, just slightly disappointing that like they could have put another unit in there and had like a really good value on top of that kind of thing.
I wonder if they avoided putting Zangor in here because they knew that everyone would be mad. And like the original box had the Zangor in and they're like, don't do it, it's a meme. So they took him out and they just didn't put anything else in.
Yeah, I mean, that's possible. I don't know what else you would put in there that would be like exciting.
I choose to believe. It's further proof that we need the 5-man rubrics. We need rubrics to be a splittable kit like modern Space Marines are.
Absolutely.
But then we can move into Death Guard, which I like it. It is a little slanted, but in a fun way. So Death Guard is Lord Felthius, who is the current version of a Lord of Contagion, because the actual Lord of Contagion with like the huge scythe and the sweet look was on like that weird combo sprue at the beginning of 8th edition, where it's like stuck to a Space Marine so they can't ever sell it again. Terrible idea. Glad they figured that out quick.
I'm sure they'll make the same mistake again.
They've only done it a couple times. But it's got his extra guys with him because he was like some weird kit. They're like most of a normal Terminator squad. You can put them in addition to a Terminator squad, I guess, to bulk it up. I don't know what to do with them.
It is a weird one. Yeah.
Because they're not Death Shrouds. If it was 3 of them and they were clearly Death Shroud Terminators, then I would tell you, okay, it's 6 Death Shrouds. But it's very clearly 3 Blight Lords. So like, it's weird. But anyway, it's just how his sprue is set up. Then you get 3 Death Shroud Terminators, 20 Poxwalkers, and 3 Fetid Bloat Drones. I like this.
I do as well.
It's weird.
The Fetid Bloat Drones are cool. It catches your eye, kind of like the Mutalith Vortex Beast. Like, this is your thing. The Death Shroud Terminators are amazing.
Yeah, they like to put Roombas in combo boxes, but it's rare that we see them add a bunch of Fetid Bloat Drones to combo boxes. And because it can build the lawnmower version or the like shooty version, even if you already own a couple, chances are you can still use all 3 of these. I just like that part of it. And again, like 20 Poxwalkers isn't that many Poxwalkers in the grand scheme of things. So as long as you don't despise that part of the army, which I get it if you don't want the zombie part of the army and you're here for the big chunky boys, but if you don't hate that part, they're fine.
Even if you do mostly want the big chunky boys, it's nice to have Poxwalkers to just sit on the back line.
Yeah, just go park them somewhere. And like 20 of them with Typhus is a totally fine thing to have access to. Like that's a nice tool in the box for when you want to play that game.
The only like weird part is the Blight Lords.
Yeah, which again, it's not the fault of this box. That's just the state of the Death Guard characters.
Yeah, like the sprues force that, and like it's not bad. It's just a little weird. Overall, I like this. It's a decent discount as well.
And this one absolutely accents the current combat patrol really well too, which I guess looking at all 4 of them, each of them, well, Khorne still sucks.
Yeah, because the Death Guard combat patrol is a Rhino, Death Shroud Terminators, a character. I don't remember which one. And then I think some Plague Marines or something like that.
Yep, which this works well with that. Like combining those two together, that is sure like a slice of what Death Guard looks like.
Yeah, that does work.
So moving on, CSM gets a new box. This one is flavored specifically for if you want the new Red Corsair stuff. It does not have all the named characters in it, which I think really would have made it amazing for if you wanted that, but I guess they didn't want to limit it to people who only want those characters.
Yeah, you wanted to like add like Huron Blackheart and his gang.
Yeah, so it's 10 of the new raiders, which currently it's a little confusing. Based off of what is in the articles right now, the raiders appear to only be for if you run Red Corsairs. We have to see how it works out datasheet wise when they show up. During the reveal show, they made mention of the fact that like all of the units we showed off for CSM today can be run in any CSM army. So maybe the raiders are totally normal and just are Red Corsair themed. We'll find out. The Reaver Captain or Reeve Captain or whatever, that one might be Red Corsair exclusive, or it might just be again an alternative to Chaos Lord that is not Chaos themed for anyone who runs any type of Renegade.
I could see that one being locked, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, and then the rest of the box is generic units. It's 10 Legionnaires, 5 Terminators, and then 10 of the Kill Team Traitor Guard. I don't like this box unless you very specifically want Red Corsairs as it stands right now before we see data sheets and everything.
I think that's fair, but I also don't hate it.
But like for a generic CSM player, I wouldn't touch this until we see the data sheets.
Yeah.
If the data sheets are all generic equivalent, you're fine. If they're actually locked and you can only play them if you play like a certain detachment, then no.
But I mean, I think because the Red Corsairs are, you know, new hotness kind of thing, if you're interested, this probably is okay. I don't know the prices off the top of my head, so I don't know discount on this, but it seems okay.
We can't know the prices yet, so like we can't really advise you yet on this, but I'm gonna say only for people who want the new Red Corsair stuff specifically.
Yeah.
Moving on, I guess let's cover Custodes because honestly 40k people are gonna care. So this just is, I think it's like a whole 12.
Is that all of them? I thought there was more to it.
No, that's the whole thing. I think it's 12 Custodian Guard, which is again, you can either build sword and board or you can build them with spears. And then the Shield Captain, one of the dreads that you can build either way, and the Calidus tank. My thoughts on this box are don't buy it. I know you're going to want to buy it. I can't stop you from buying this, but the two big centerpiece models in this that are not the generic cheap battle line kit are both very risky and may not exist in 11th edition because GW's track record tells you never to trust.
Yeah, not recommended, but it is neat.
All right, so let's keep going. The Corsair box, I don't know the price of any of these, but I like it. So it's 10 Void Reavers, which again, it's already been an existing kit. Prince Uriel, who's a named character, which normally is a turnoff, but is Corsairs, you're a tiny range. It's your new named character, fine.
Yeah, like you were going to want it anyways if you're interested in this box, so.
Yeah, like you're interested in a minor tiny faction, you want your named character.
Yeah.
This is your entire range in a box. Not the whole thing, but very close. The new awesome sculpt of that Not a Farsi or whatever it's called. And then your 10 Not Scourges, which I'll learn the name of at some point after I'm sure these are going to exist next edition. And then, you also get the dual build that becomes the Viper. The Starfang and the Sky Reavers are what the Not Scourges are called. I knew both of those and didn't have to scroll up through the show notes for half an hour to find them. So this box is unknown value. If we assume the value is about on par with all the others, then this is a solid pickup if you care about this very niche part of the army. It's gorgeous. I don't blame you in the slightest. Pirates are awesome. Space pirates, double so.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a similar thing to the Red Corsairs.
Yeah.
If you're interested in this new part, it's probably a good pickup. Otherwise, probably not. I don't know. It's up to you.
Yeah, I don't think your generic Craft World player is ever going to pick this box up. It is specifically someone who goes, damn, Corsairs, finally. Now the Tzeentch box. Moving into AOS, we do not know AOS as well. However, the Tzeentch box is playable in 40k, so we'll segue with it.
Sure. Okay. Technically it is.
This is Kairos Fateweaver / A Lord of Change. A very confusing box to explain, but what it is a Exalted Flamer and a Fate Skimmer, which could alternatively be built as a foot version of the character, which I forget the name of off the top of my head, a Fate Weaver, and the Burning Flaming Chariot, because that's how that kit works because it's from Old World. 3 Flamers, 3 Screamers, 10 Pink Horrors, and then 10 Blue Horrors, which come with the Brimstones.
Right.
That's the box. It's very confusing to explain Tzeentch Demon box schematics because they're fucking weird.
I was definitely leaving it fully up to you because I don't know.
Luckily, I am an expert in this subject as I have purchased specifically this box several times before, but it was wearing a different hat.
Yeah, nice.
This used to be an old, easily available $75 combo box that didn't have Kairos in it, and didn't have the Blue Horrors either. This used to be the Start Collecting Tzeentch box, but they added in Kairos, they added in the Blue Horrors, and they tripled the price. If we're lucky, they only tripled the price.
I mean, this is not a recommend for 40K.
I still do.
No.
Tzeentch Demons, baby!
Nope.
Yep, Tzeentch Demons for life. Absolute recommend. Eric is a doubter. Demons are fine. Everything will be fine. We're going to be treated better. If we're not, I'm buying a ticket to Nottingham
Yeah.
to have a stern talking to somebody.
That's it. Right.
And nothing else is implied by that statement, legally speaking.
I mean, no, it's exactly a stern talking to.
I just want to talk to him, man. I just want to talk to him.
If you're trying to get into AOS, I have no idea what is currently like a popular build or anything.
I'm going to explain it to you this way, Eric. This is the entire range.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. This is basically what you have, so...
This is all of Tzeentch Demons. That is slightly exaggerated, but it's damn close.
If you're super into Tzeentch, maybe.
So moving on to the one I really don't recommend. This is the OBR box. I have not looked up the price of this yet, but I have looked into buying into OBR multiple times because I am dumb and I keep on buying more armies.
I mean, this is definitely one that like you would have interest in.
It is. I like Skelly Boys. They're cool. And they're chonky, which is nice because my Skelly Boys have a very bad habit of falling apart. But my problem with this box is I know the secondary market exists, and I have looked into buying this army. Mortek Guard, the battle line unit that is in this box, is in every single combo box they ever make for OBR. It might be currently missing in one of them, but you get the point. It is very cheap to get these guys, and you will end up, if you're buying collections to start your collection, you're going to end up with more than you will ever want of these because everyone already owns too many. And then you've got 2 copies of a unit that predates AOS's existence.
Yeah, the Margast Archive.
I will trust Eric's pronunciation of that, but the Morghasts.
Yeah.
You've got 4 Morghasts. They come in 2s. They are very old feeling. They do look kind of neat still, but they're ancient. You have Arkan, who also came from Old World and now is part of AOS. And then you've got the Soul Mason, which is one of my least favorite OBR models ever. He has a chair with legs, which is interesting, but there is no dick guy. And without him, life is incomplete. So this box, I know that all of these have been printed to death over the years, widely available, are not the part of the army that is like worth fearing missing out on. You will easily obtain these if you are looking to get into the army.
You're not wrong. I do think that this is a pretty decent value because the Morghasts are like expensive.
That might be true. That might be the one reason to do this.
Yeah, so 2 of the Morghasts are $73.50.
Yikes.
And then Arkan's like 94 or something like that, like slightly under 100.
Yeah, so basically it comes down to the combo box makes the Mortek Guard free.
Yeah, if you actually are just getting into it and like you understand that these are old models and like whatever, but you still want them all to be able to play, technically this should be a discount. I'm not certain how much, but like very small audience that I think really want this though.
Yeah, I will tell you, double check eBay before you buy this.
Yeah.
Check if you can't just get this as part of a collection for the same price or cheaper.
See what the local secondary market's doing.
But the last box here on our infinite list of battle forces is the LRL box, and I don't really know what to think of this. I don't know LRL well. My brother's the elf fan.
So it's got Elenia and Elithor, the War Sages, 5 Venari Blade Lords, 10 Venari Orlan Sentinels, 10 Venari Wardens, a Ballista, and 10 Riverblade. I believe that is the combo box, but neither of us are particularly LRL knowledgeable.
Yeah, this is the one thing where I will stay completely out of the opinion on this. I don't know the first thing about LRL. I do know that a bunch of bows and a bunch of spears a couple years ago was very meta.
It looks like a balanced army.
It looks boring as shit. The new spearhead looks neat though. It's got kangaroo things. See, it's less focused on the elves, so I like it more.
Yeah, I don't know on the LRL. It's probably good. It seems like there's a bunch of units that are doing the things that they should do.
All right. And then the other thing we missed was the launch of 500 Worlds, which came out shockingly quick. So we missed that whole thing during 2 weeks.
Yeah, which, I mean, that's okay.
So with 500 Worlds, we got Titus and his retinue's new data sheets. I care zero, guys. Bricky sat around and read the data sheet for 20 something minutes, and it boils down to Titus doesn't say once per game yet. That'll get eroded later. Let's move on. Also, they add a shitload of wounds for a bunch of basic humans for some reason.
Yeah, whatever. Sure.
That out of the way, the rest of this is interesting. Let's talk Space Marines half first, and then we'll get into Necrons because we know I'm going to talk too long.
So we've got 3 detachments for Space Marines. Bastion Task Force. This one's neat because it's all battle line flavored.
Yes. And then there's the, like, you can make something battle line with the enhancement, the hero of the chapter.
Yeah. There's an enhancement that, while the bearer is leading a unit, that bearer has battle line, which is like, that's neat.
Yeah. I like what this shows, if that makes sense. More than I like the detachment itself, I like the idea of this makes battle line important and you can manipulate what battle line is, though technically not to the extent I'd like to see. It's something, because technically this doesn't let you break the rule of 3. Like, you can't say blank is battle line when you build your list.
Oh yeah, during list building.
Yeah, you have to do it during attaching the, I really want them to fix this in 11th edition, but the point remains slightly boring in the fact that it doesn't let you change rule of 3. That would have been super interesting to see and see what people cook up with, but I do love the idea of playing around with battle line.
The detachment itself seems decent enough, but like it's also kind of generic because it's focused around battle line, and like most lists are going to have battle line, so like it feels kind of generic, and it also doesn't feel like it's going to be more powerful than like some of the other generic Space Marine detachments. So it's just an interesting flavor that you can choose is kind of what I get out of it.
I think it looks solid, at least from my perspective on the 400 different ways you can play Space Marines with the infinite detachments.
Right.
It looks solid, and honestly, with this many detachments for Space Marines, it's impressive to still have a new solid one. A lot of factions would like, 6 solid ones.
Yeah, I mean, the only real hole that I see immediately is like there's no AOC, but like it seems like a pretty solid detachment, and it's kind of neat playing with battle line. The next one, Orbital Assault Force. Drop pods are cool.
Please buy drop pods. We would really like it if you would buy a PS Vita.
Oh no.
Referencing an old YouTube video from God knows when.
I mean, it's not that old. It's a PS Vita, right? What could it be? Like 10 years? Yeah, so this one is mostly deep strike with a little bit of drop pod stuff going on, which it's neat. I don't think this is particularly good against anybody that like sort of kind of knows how to screen.
Yeah, drop pods being able to do a turn 1 is like, that makes it somewhat interesting, but like,
yeah,
I still don't care.
It's tough, right?
Look, there's someone who loves drop pods and they have this detachment now. This is the 400th Space Marine detachment. It's allowed to be this specific.
And like it does feel thematic. So yeah, because it is, you have so many other options in Space Marines, we're not worried about like, oh, they used one of the 4 options on the super specific thematic thing. You have more options to do generic things. This one's neat. I don't think it's particularly good, but it is kind of cool if you're interested in, the deep strike drop pod shenanigans. Finally, we've got Reclamation Force. This one is Ultramarines.
Yeah, this one is the Titus one. Interesting. It's an Ultramarine exclusive one. I'm not thrilled. Look, I'm not a big fan of Ultramarines in the first place. Space Marines in general barely gets my attention. As we've joked 300 times now, this is the 400th one of these detachments. I really wish they had looked at other things than Space Marines to give more detachments to, but we got this shit.
Yeah, this one feels kind of generic to me.
I mean, it's for fans of Space Marine 2.
Yeah.
Kind of generic is what they were going for.
And that's the thing is like, I guess I don't know enough about Space Marine 2. I did not finish it.
I did. You know everything about Space Marine 2.
Because like, if we were going to do that, which clearly this is what this is doing, it feels like it should be even more on the nose with like, I don't know, like the strats and stuff.
The point of this one is supposed to be him taking over and being totally not Calgar.
Okay, I guess.
So like, this is the 500 Worlds fleet. That's why it's like the
like in between.
Scroll of Proclamation, the Seals of Reconquest, the Scions of Gilliman, the most generic shit you ever did read.
Yeah, because like there are some powerful powerful things that you can do with the strats. The detachment rule itself is pretty solid, but I don't know. It does not really interest me over other options. So let's move on.
So, moving on to the way more interesting half, Necrons.
Do we want to just give a quick shout out to like CSM got some new Raptors and Warp Talon stuff?
Oh yeah, I actually forgot that. Yes, so CSM did get new Raptors and Warp Talons while we were gone. That's neat.
Yeah, basically where I'm at with the Sisters got the Celestian Insidians.
Yes. Again, we saw these models before we left. It's just now they're out.
Yeah, we have Datasheets. Those ones seem pretty decent actually, but I could be completely wrong.
Yeah, I don't know the points. We can talk about it next Data Slate with Bricky when they no doubt get a 10-point hike and he can tell us for 10 minutes why that was wrong.
Yeah, but let's actually talk Necrons.
So, Necrons got updates to all our Catan data sheets,
Because they had
3 new detachments, and our new character, Necrosaur Amintar.
Yeah.
So, our new character, I'm a little mixed on, but I love the model. I really wish we just had some more options in the Destroyer part of the army for characters, but the named character is neat for it. They've got decent stat line, all right abilities, the lone op near Destroyer, so you don't have to technically lead something. That way you can just be an Aurabot, old school HQ style, working like any HQ in 9th edition did. That's fine. It helps because this is a named character, so you don't want to have your named character buff only one unit when you don't have many options for generic leaders to help this underserved part of the army right now. It's a little weird that the one ability cares about the order you do your attacks in. Prophet of Destruction is the if this one gets a kill, then other Destroyer cults get the reroll ones to wound.
Okay.
It's bonus points on this data sheet. It's a little additive distraction talking from that angle.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was at. You were saying all this stuff, and I'm like, yeah, that sure is a thing. I don't know why it matters, but
My issues with this are only from a design standpoint of it's a little bit messy.
yeah.
If that makes sense. This is trying to be something it's not because it's not what we actually needed, but it's what they were able to get through whoever had to approve it.
Yeah. All right. That's fair. The model's cool. And because there's a detachment that matters, it is nice that this character exists.
Now, as for the Catan update, they all got really nice blurfs. They got buff nerfs, but in a good way. I very, very, very much like the changes. A lot of them got either some offensive boost, little changes all over. I'm not going to read all of the things. We'd be here all day.
Okay. I was like, we're gonna milk this like Bricky?
No, I'm not going to milk this like Bricky and read a data sheet for 20 minutes and go, so 6 leadership. Let me tell you about leadership. I love you, Bricky.
But the Catans did need a rework because of a detachment. So, like, what's the general take?
So the big thing is they changed our take half damage to instead be subtract 1 from damage. This is the big nerf, which is totally fine. This means your big Catan, shooting it with big cannons is still correct. And the correct way to shoot it is not with a bunch of bolter fire. This is a good change in general. It does make them weaker in that defensive way. It does make them less caustic to deal with, which is good.
That's true.
They still get all of their fun rules, which is good. I love these changes to the Catan. I love the blurfs. They're great.
All right, let's just start talking about the new detachments. And I mean, we may as well start with the Pantheon of Woe, since Catans.
Okay, so this is the Catan detachment. It's actually super interesting. Normally, I am against detachments that say, if you have a monolith, this detachment has rules.
I feel like I got into an argument with you a while back, and this is exactly proof that I was right.
No, because this is still a prong of the army. It's just that there are very few Catan, but they're all big, important things. This would be like giving orcs a Gorkanaut, Morkanaut, Stompa thing when it's like Orc Knights, the detachment.
Sure.
Like, that's okay. I really hate when it's like, if you own this one model.
Okay.
Like drop pods. Unless it's your 400th detachment, in which case, go wild. But this detachment is very interesting because the detachment itself is like, let's make Catan the entire show. Previously, we used Catan. We basically abused them with the teleporting detachment.
I mean, Catan have always been kind of a problem. I assume it's still going to be a problem because they're trying to break rules.
You say Catan have always been a problem. Catan have been unplayable for the majority of their existence.
Unless they were playable because the broken rules made them unfun.
Yes.
Like, that's just how Catan are.
You misspoke, though. It's made them fun.
Sure.
Fun for me, not for thee.
Yeah.
But anyway, this gives all of your Catans a 6-inch aura idea of +1 AP against things in that range, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can take mortal wounds to expand it to 9, but like Catan being tanky is one of their big things, so I advise against this in most scenarios unless you really need it.
I mean, I could see it happening, but yeah, that's definitely a big cost.
Yeah. And instead of doing enhancements, I love that this plays with what enhancements do.
Right.
It has necrodermal binding abilities instead of enhancements. And it says that every Catan must take its correct, totally not an enhancement, and increase their cost by the amount that costs. So the Catan in this detachment have more rules because they automatically gain these not an enhancements, but they also must cost more to get access to these. This detachment unlocks full power of Catan, but at a cost so that you can run them normally elsewhere without feeling like you should have just run them in this. And that is a beautiful design.
I mean, I don't think it's the exact same, but it's very similar to Veiled Blade, the Agents one.
Yeah, Agents just gave all of the assassins the ability to take enhancements that they can't normally take, right?
No, it forced them. If you took the assassin, you had to take it.
Oh, it does force them to take it? Okay. I guess I just didn't think about that because, like, that detachment sucked ass because it was part of Agents.
Yeah, you've always been kind of negative on that one, and I thought it was a cool design.
Yeah, it's much more interesting in this case because it gets into the whole, like, Catan aren't supposed to take enhancements because they're all named other than
Yes.
Transcendent. But this goes like, let's make the Catans have even more in their data sheet when they're here, but they have to cost more in addition. So you can give them a big fancy rule and make them cost an extra 100 points if you want, like at an abstract level. And I love that design.
And it lets you balance outside of this specific detachment so that they're not fully powered up.
Yeah, because that's one of the problems when you get detachments like these, where it's like, if you have a monolith, do all this bullshit.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, you will never run a monolith outside of this detachment now. Because, like, the monolith is ass until it's in this attachment, in which case it enables so much bullshit. But this is a really fun way to change that.
Yeah.
At its core level, basically, each of the Catan gets an extra ability on their data sheet in exchange for costing more here. And they get the detachment rule where they are presenting an aura for the rest of your army so that you can play this more balanced if you want and only run a couple Catan and then accent your proper list using these Catan. Now, it falls off a cliff.
That's the concern I have of the aura's supposed to let you field things other than Catan.
Yep, but you're going to point out my problem.
A bunch of other things here reference monsters.
Yeah.
I just did a double check just to make sure that they didn't pull something weird on me, and it's the Catan. Those are the monsters.
Yeah. The real problem here comes in the stratagems. These stratagems are all Necron monster, Necron monster, Necron monster, Necron monster.
There's two that aren't, but like...
So it's a very limited pool to work with. So you're going to rely on your core strats a lot. And spoilers, you're a Necron, so you already can't use half of them because we don't have smoke or grenades because we're above that or some bullshit. It's almost like the core strats were a terrible fucking idea.
They weren't implemented particularly great.
It's almost like they went, we want to give more stratagems to Space Marines.
So like this Pantheon of Woe detachment does some really cool stuff with Catans. It's not wholly Catan only, but it's very, very focused on that, which leads to a potential problem. Because like if this detachment ends up being you run, 2 Catans, maybe 3, and then an army with the rest, that's cool. That's great. Fantastic. If it becomes just play all the Catans, nah, that's not fun.
I mean, I want somewhere to play all the Catans that isn't the teleporting caustic no one wants to play with you anymore that we had previously this edition.
Sure, but given these abilities and even with the Catan nerf on, the damage reduction, if your list is full Catans, that's not going to be fun after playing twice.
I mean, that's the point. You're playing a stupid slant list.
Which is fine, but if that's how this detachment is supposed to be done, I don't like it.
It's why I like it, though, because this is fine for your umpteenth detachment. This is when we can start having detachments like this. And this is a much better design than the more awkward ones we had early edition, like the Monolith one.
Yeah.
I always bring that one up because it soured me specifically early in the edition, but we have other examples. I just always bring this one up because it is my prime example. This shows they liked the idea of it and they think they can work on the execution to make it better for detachments that care about a specific model type.
Yeah, I mean, this definitely is the next iteration of these kinds of detachments.
Yes. I like the idea. It's not perfect. Falls apart a little bit in your support because of being limited on strats. The core idea is a much better approach to if you're going to have, please buy this model. I would really like it if you would purchase this model as a sub-faction.
Overall, I think it's a cool detachment. And I'm glad that they took the time to rebalance the Catan and allow this detachment to exist, right? Because,
Yes.
like, you could not make this detachment with the old data sheet.
No.
Like, I don't care how many fucking points you put on it.
It's not even about the points at that point.
It's just not fun.
You're enabling a very unfun thing for your opponent. It's like when you play a Slanted Knights list and you're like, one of us is going to have no fun today. Let's find out who.
Yeah. So I am glad that they actually did rebalance the Catan so that they could make this detachment and like they followed through on the idea. That's great.
Yeah. And importantly, by doing that, they also made Catans infinitely more fun to play with outside of this detachment for your opponent while making you excited to play them still, because the changes, again, as a Necron player, are generally very good.
It does give you a little bit more. I want to just play this Catan in my general list because I want to have fun tonight and feel okay about doing it.
Yeah, exactly. I love this change. So, the Destroyer detachment. Thank you, GW. I appreciate you. You remembered to check the whole list of destroyers that we have available to us. Props to you. This is a fixed version of Annihilation Legion, which again, it's had some love to it, but it was a flawed idea at its start. I'm happy that we're like, let's try this. This is one of the more generic detachments here where it's like, hey, let's focus on an attachment for this prong of an army, which is how most of the core ones in the codices should have worked, and some of them did. I would liken this on the Space Marine side to the let's focus on a battle line detachment and see how that goes, where it's like, that's a great general design for a detachment. It's not hyper specific and it's just a fun design space to start looking in. This one is your classic, hey, do you like destroyers? Well, I've got a detachment for you.
Yeah.
+2 strength to all your weapons for destroyers.
That's a great basic starting point. Honestly, the other part's kind of neat too, of if your destroyer cult kills or brings to below half, everything else gets +2 strength. Like, that's a neat effect to like allow a little bit more list building.
Yeah, where it helps your non-destroyer cults and non-Catan take part in this so that you don't have to play pure destroyer cults. It's just they are better in this and they will let the rest of the army you bring get better.
Yeah.
And it kind of just by happenstance works nicely where if it triggers in the shooting phase, you were doing it with your Locust destroyers, right? Which
Makes
means
sense.
your other shooting Necrons get better. And then if you're doing it with your melee stuff, your melee stuff is getting better because of when it's going to trigger.
Yeah, I mean it's not the most flashy, but it's a simple way to, you know, buff the destroyers and also give a buff to the other units in the army so you don't have to just play destroyers only, because there's not that many even with the new one.
Yeah, and I like the enhancements in this just from a flavor standpoint with Necrons of you get your CCB or your Overlord, they become Destroyer Cult and they get better melee, which they're notoriously shit at, and better move. You can do it for your Cryptek and turn them into a Destroyer Cryptek.
That one seemed neat to me, but also because I just saw Murder Mind and I was like, ooh, that sounds cool.
It's nice because it's also kind of great to be able to put a Cryptek with your destroyers, which is not something they're meant to do.
True.
And you get 2 for your Destroyer Lords, which are what you should hopefully want to be putting in here anyway.
Yeah, and like the strats, there's a decent mix of like destroyer cult target or need to do something for your other units to get a buff.
But also like Methodical Murder is just sustained 1 on
Yeah.
anything that's not a Catan.
Unnatural aggression makes sense at 2 CP though.
Yeah, well,
Countercharge type nonsense is strong. But overall, do we like this better than the current?
so Annihilation Legion has had some love. It's not as bad as it was. However, I like the design of this one better, partially because it works so well with interweaving your destroyers with your non-destroyers.
Yeah.
And making you want to go, destroyers are the focus of this, but I don't have to go all in. I can if I want, and it'll still be fine. But like spicing it up with a mix works well, and making the destroyers the focus without making them the only thing.
Annihilation Legion, the fixes are fine and stuff, but like there's only so many destroyer cult units and flayed ones. So like your list building is kind of like just click the button until you have the max kind of thing.
That's a fair way to put it.
Cursed Legion, like you said, it allows you to actually support non-destroyer cult and still have fun and like use those units and use strats on them and stuff like that. So it definitely feels like the more interesting detachment. I think they did a pretty good job. They do have one more though. We've got the Cryptek detachment.
It's weird to have a second Cryptek focused detachment where you add Crypteks to a unit and then the unit gets buffed. The first one was supposed to be more of a Canoptic thing, but it ended up being a Cryptek thing because of how it worked out. So I guess this one is the true Cryptek one.
I guess I hadn't really thought of that, but it is Canoptic Court.
Yeah, it's just the fact that Cryptek unit
Yeah.
triggered on like anything.
The Cryptek Conclave is definitely more Cryptek than it is Canoptic, so they didn't just switch them.
Yeah, so this one, your Cryptek models, so not the units, just the model, gets assault, which is whatever. The bigger part of this is when you shoot with a unit that is a Cryptek unit, so a Cryptek is leading it, that gives it the keyword, you can choose between anti-infantry 3-up, anti-mounted 4-up, assault, heavy, or ignore cover. And then until end of phase, your ranged weapons have that.
That's fun.
It's neat. It's a cool Swiss Army knife thing to give everybody. I don't know on its own if it's enough to carry you. There are certain matchups where that does very little, specifically if someone's playing a monster mash list or a vehicle heavy list. Then you're going to find real quick that you're like, I guess I'm picking assault or heavy, which is fine.
That's still a fine default case kind of thing. But like then there's going to be other lists that like anti-infantry 3-up is going to be naughty.
Is caustic to spam. That said, it also has the enhancement so that at least one of your units can choose the anti-monster, anti-vehicle 5-up.
Yeah, I'm glad that they added that, like seeing a hole and then being like, okay, you can actually deal with them, at least theoretically.
Yeah, one of your units won't be getting way less out of it. Again, heavy and assault aren't bad. I can't read Gravitic Bolus without looking up at my Nicol Bolas and being like, it's my brother, Gravitic Bolus. I also like that half of these don't require you to be a Cryptek to get the enhancement. Now, where I get a little iffy is when we start talking stratagems.
There's a lot that are targeting Crypteks.
Or at least require you to have a Cryptek around.
Okay, maybe this detachment's not like the best, but it's got options, man.
It's my least favorite of the three. To be honest, before we did this review of it, I had very little opinion on it. To me, Canoptic Court already did this. The other two are far more exciting to me on actually trying something.
I don't know, man. I think Cryptek Conclave's cool.
I'm not going to turn down any of them. Even when my army gets a new detachment and it's not my favorite, I'm happy I at least have some more choice. I can sit down before we play a game and be like, ooh, maybe I'm going to whip this one out for one game and try it out, which it feels infinitely better than where we were for the first year of this edition, where it's like, I'm going to play my index detachment or my index detachment. And if my index detachment sucks, rip bozo.
Yeah, I think you've got like 9. That's a good amount.
Necrons detachment wise now feel nice and full. There are a lot of other armies that wish they felt this way. And I'm not saying that they never need another one. I can dream up 5 more right now, but it's nice to at least have this level of comfort. This is what we were hoping most of them would be at by the time their codex was done. Detachments are everything in 10th edition. So when you're short on detachments, Tau, Custodes,
Is pretty brutal.
it feels awful.
There's probably a bunch of smaller things that we haven't, brought up here in our massive catch-up episode, but I think we did a pretty good job of hitting all the major ones.
So tune in for a very serious topic next week, and you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/solely-singleton, where you can join great patrons like Comics Bill in supporting the show.
We've got the patrons that give us enough money that we have to shout them out every month. They are a pulsating ball of pure energy,
Adoxin,
Adrian Franke,
Ellen Dunn,
Amdragon,
Amists,
Andreas,
Angry Zellers,
another hairy Sasquatch,
our bald men God damn it, it's not that far in. Are bald men predisposed to chaos corruption?
They're apparently predisposed to not being able to say it.
I'm not bald, I'm balding. It's different.
Sure. Ave Dominus Nuts,
Bedlam's Nemesis,
Biggs the Purple Necron,
Blubbles 180,
Bob Myers,
Bob Kirk,
Brad, I think Jenny saw you at Cracker Barrel dressed like a fire slayer. Again. Also, reminder, there are things that we won't actually say.
and we'll get you in trouble. Brad's Busty Body Pillow. I'll read that one though.
Yeah, we're pretty lenient.
So don't screw up.
Don't get in trouble. BRB, gotta snaz my wagon.
Can you dig it?
Canuck,
Carnuvex,
Chad the Frog,
Christopher Gargliano,
Christopher S. Dawson,
Chromavale,
Colin H.,
Commander Cicada,
Connor King,
Connor Millet,
Craig Judd,
Crazy Shack 48,
Cube 1359,
Dairy Sorcerer Addicted to Mana Potions,
Daniel Field 5150,
Dear GW, give the bananas more plastic kits. I have good news for you, my dear patron.
Director Jeff,
Dixani,
Dominic Colosico,
Dragon 35 543.
Edward Lawrence,
Enchanted Galaxy Cat.
Hervé,
Ethan Flores.
Eve the Thief.
Fabius Bile and the Amazing Human Skin Dreamcoat.
That's a whole fucking story. Fear the Beard,
Gathering Clouds.
Gear Overlord,
Geet.
Glossy,
Hemorrock.
Heretic Talks.
Heretic Diabetic. Grandfather Eric took my feet. Jesus Christ.
What the fuck? Hey, look, Marathi and Lilith are playing footsie with each other.
We're not even in the letter F. We just got 2 feet, one back to back. This is a good sign.
That's it.
Hyena Beans.
Hypnotic Spectre,
Elindi.
Iron Father,
Isaac Hall.
Istvan Wolf,
Jack Gaming.
Jarrett DePerna,
Justin Udacek.
Khan Tunsil,
Caden Moore.
Kenny Rogers,
Kentorb.
Kinibianianian,
Kozak.
Krishna,
Lucas.
Logan Gribner can be my daddy bear,
Lord of Chaos.
Matthew Tsushima,
Mech Lord of the Bad Dragon Clan.
Michael Melcher,
Michelle, who thinks they should add an army rule to Imperial agents.
Mitchell,
Miwabel, Chapter Master of the Glitch Stars, successor to the Imperial Fists, herald of the return of her man's Rogel Dorn.
Mixolodius,
Burnt toast.
Morpheal 55,
My lawyers have advised me not to finish this joke.
smart, Nate Braun,
Not Gaffy.
not EE,
Omega Shark.
One Quosora, syndactily enthusiast.
Pacific Rim 3, The Return of Christ. Why?
Not what I was expecting, but all right. Pierce forgot about changing their name as a bit for a while.
Proteus 7331.
Colin,
Reigns 13.
Ratchet 7989,
Rethus Khan.
Ringray,
Rock.
Rogue Trader Jake,
Ross Warlock.
Roth.
Rymora.
Oh man.
Good luck.
What?
Good luck.
There's slashes in these O's.
I just read him as an O. If you didn't want it to be an O, you wouldn't have made it look like an O.
Rodgrod Med Flowed,
Saftjep, it's German, deal with it.
Sriracha Sauce,
Scott Gallmere.
Scott the Irish,
Scuba Steve wants to remind you that Poorhammer has merch. Damn right we do.
Shax's Pet Otter,
She shadowed my warp till I synapse. See, just be funny like that and not repulsive.
She tormenting on my mentor till I infract.
Sister Leviathan of the Sororitas.
Smarty Boy,
Solanite.
the Mailman,
The Solar Sect of Mystic Wisdom.
the Crusader 13,
The Fish Guy.
the Nerds Table,
Thurango.
Tom McGrath,
Uwu Luna.
Vati the Picori,
Van Griff.
Woodstock,
Why So Mad 2.
Zach Wade,
Zebru.
and Zimbabwe.
Still one of my favorites. We also have producers we shout out every episode because they are keeping the lights on around here. They are 3D Frank.
Aetherian networking with Demon Princes.
Anyone else hate the new Space Wolves detachment? Hashtag Mike's Baneblade.
Ava Tech Adept.
Batrid Kurz.
Blastmasters are translators for dubstep weebs.
Brad, have you finished painting your Doomsday Arc yet? No, all of my Doomsday Arcs are already painted. That's the whole thing.
Need more Doomsday Arcs. Breaking news! In-N-Out has scrapped the order numbers 67 and 69 after viral trends have caused chaos across multiple restaurants.
Spelled wrong again. Charles Lang.
Commissar Cruz, Pegger of the Imperium.
Corvus.
Demolition Man.
Eric's Foot tier list when? Hashtag I will never forget. At least you're paying enough money to annoy me. Only a little. A lot and you're still in trouble.
Gilgamesh Versus.
Grant Yost.
Halo Gamer 2005.
I just wanted to let everyone know that I suck and girl and I wear ribbons in my hair and I want to kiss all the boys. They didn't even write the whole quote. I just love that quote.
Oh god. That's good.
Things I say in management meetings.
Right? Jan Geisy.
Kiwi Fruit Bird.
Le Bloop Bloop.
Leah.
Loaf of Disappointment.
Mr. Squiggums.
NJ Harlan.
Pizza 00100.
RoboHop.
Sam Brown.
Scott the Jim Crab, Mr. Festastic.
Fuck, I'm not gonna be able to do this.
Oh, come on, you got it.
Oh, she was looking kind of dumb with her finger and her thumb on the last 4 pegs of the peg board.
That's good. I like it. Looking forward to see what the next one is. Something Cracker Barrel. I'm out of name ideas.
That Moiety.
The fucking God Emperor of Mankind.
The Terrible Toledo Tickler.
Well done. Victorian Batman.
And Wargame Simulator. All right, somehow that does it, and we are out of here. Thank you, everybody. We'll see y'all next week with something that you'll wish we hadn't made.
Sounds good.